Alright, we look at the next matter talking about multiplying two brackets. Multiplying two brackets, essentially talking about binomial expression. So what essentially is a binomial expression? When I have two letters, technically called unknowns, connected with either an addition or a subtraction sign, what we have is what is called a binomial expression. So let's look at what that looks like. If I have A plus B, or I have X plus Y, technically speaking, each of these are called binomial expression, meaning made up of what? Two algebraic terms, or sometimes could be an algebraic term and a number. So that's what we talk about here. So this is a binomial expression. So it's made up of maybe two unknowns or two letters connected by either an addition or subtraction. I said addition or subtraction, so which means I can have this. So all stated on the board, this is a binomial expression, this is another binomial expression, this is another binomial expression, this is another binomial expression. You could have cases where you have these two. These are also binomial expressions too. So that said, we're now going to try to look at how we carry out multiplication of two brackets. Okay, right now we're into trying to handle multiplying two brackets, and the brackets we're considering are essentially binomial expressions, and we've tried to illustrate them here. Now we have a problem we are going to be handling, and I'm going to be using a technique I've never used before. I tried to run away from it because, but I think it's important that I explore this for students who may find this technique useful to them. So how does this go? This technique requires that I pick this, I use this to multiply first to first, and then I pick this, and then I pick this, and one more. I have picked this to this, and I also pick. Okay, I think it should be better this way. Let's do it so that it doesn't look too clumsy. In picking this technique, pick the ones that are closer first. Pick these two. Pick these two first. Then this one, you can use this to pick the last. Then use this. Pick this to this. And then pick this to this. So in using this technique, you must be sensitive to the signs. This is just one example. They are all positive here, so it might be straightforward for you here. Now, P times S. Look at the arrow. I will write the answer on it. That's PS. Now, P times arrow is PR. I'll write the answer on PR. Then, Q times R. I'll write the answer on what? QR. And then, Q times S. I'll write the answer on what? QS. Now, some students will write theirs under or write it in it. It doesn't really matter. Just ensure that you're consistent. Look, I wrote under on top, and here I wrote on top. So, just be consistent with whatever you're doing. Now, what you're going to get will be, bring all the answers together. Look at it, I have what? PS, I have PR, I have QR, and I have what? QS. And that's the answer to this question. So the beautiful thing about this technique is that it prevents you from writing too much. This is the first in the use of this technique in my MAMU series, and I think it's important that I begin to teach you how to use this technique because we are now in a digital age. Now, you can also use another method, which is a method we are very used to in the MAMU experience. Now, this will mean that P, the content of the first bracket multiplies the second bracket. P will multiply this, and Q will multiply this. And what will this give you? PR plus PS plus QR plus what? QS. You discover that you still get the same answer. Remember I said that I just want to tease this method because some students might find this method interesting. But as an added advantage, you can check whether what you've done is right by using both methods. Maybe you're solving the exam, you can use this method. Then you use this method to test whether what you have done is correct. Whichever method you use, you should get the same answer. If you solve and you're getting one answer different from the other, you know there's a problem somewhere and you really need to deal with it. Alright, so we're going to do this now. We're going to use both techniques to check what we have done. Now, to use this, remember that this negative is tied to B. This negative is tied to B, so remember that. So we use our array method. This closing, and this out. So what we do is to write the answer. AD AC minus BC minus BD. Remember that B is not positive, it is what? Negative. So you must keep that in mind. Then with this, you can write your answers out. AD plus AC minus BC minus BD. And that will settle that out. Now, please, order will not really matter here. You can, once you have captured all the letters, all the terms, as it were, you are on course. Now, we can use our method, our regular MAMU method, as A into what? C plus D minus B, or negative B, into what? C plus D. And then you open it up. Remember, whenever you see negative, you must exercise a bit of caution. This will give me AC plus AD minus BC minus BD. Now, somebody might say, but look at the order. If you look at this one, you can rearrange this. You have what? AC plus AD minus BC minus what? BD. It's the same thing. Placement of terms does not really matter here. What is important is, I hope all the terms are captured correctly and their signs are maintained appropriately. Alright, so that's the size of our pack for this class today. We will continue with this topic. There's going to be a part 2 of it. And the part 2 will take us to something even more interesting in handling what it's called, people call it algebraic factors, algebraic factorization, and things like that. So it's going to be an interesting experience. MAMU will surely return. So go back, keep the interest, practice, and be courageous. I'll sign out for now. Thank you.